Wanted to make a video for our drivers. I normally drive this trolley, but occasionally I can't, and so we may have a substitute driver, and this is for them if they forget what their training was. They can check out this video. So we're in the good time trolley, and the first thing we're going to do, we're going to turn the key on. You'll hear the fuel pump running, and the fuel pressure will start coming up in a minute. We're going to pat the gas pedal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and start. Might have to feather it a couple more times. And then our fuel pressures come up. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this bank by the driver's window, and you can see right here it says air pump power supply, and the air pump just does the door. I'm going to turn it on. Go back over here, air pump. The door control is this lever. We have close, neutral, and open. It requires air pressure to hold the door open or hold it closed, so when you're not using the door, I like to leave it in the middle. So on the gauges, we have 2 temperature gauges. One is the water temperature to the radiator as it comes out of the thermostat housing, and this one is the head temperature, which it's going to always run a little bit higher than this one right here. Oil pressure, voltage. So right here is windshield wipers, self-explanatory, clearance lights. The middle is dash lights, dome lights, headlights, and marker lights. So you pull all the way out for headlights, halfway for marker. This does not go off with the key, but these do. To turn the stereo on, it's the blue switch. So stereo on, there's a delay. It will come on. The blue button here is source. There's a note right there. The flashers are the red switch. I use those anytime I'm on the interstate, and I always run the right-hand lane and always run those day or night. They're like garbage truck strobes. So oddly, the steering wheel, this is actually straight ahead, even though the steering wheel is like this. We've tried to have it fixed, and it was like that, and they fixed it, and it was like that. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's been like that forever. It's just normal, park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, and first. The main thing you have to be careful of, it's very easy to slip it in second. Like if you just do this, you're going to end up in second or first. So it's very important to make sure you're in drive. We actually had a driver, I believe, drove it in second gear all the way on the interstate, tried to maintain interstate speeds, and blew the engine up. So always be absolutely sure that you are in drive. Now speaking of that, when you first try to go, watch, I'm in drive. Well, it is going now. Normally it won't go, and you have to charge the torque converter. It'll leak down. So if it won't go, just high idle it. Oh, actually, you got a high idle it in neutral. Let's see here. I've tried it in park and it didn't work. So we're going to high idle it in neutral for 15, 20, maybe up to 30 seconds. There is no tach. You just have to listen to it. You know, don't over rev. And then you would check check for gears, and yep, we got gears. It'll scare you sometimes. You should think it's not going to go, but it will. So the next thing we have to do, we've got the inverter on that's for the air pump, and it also controls the center headlight. The next thing we got to do is this white box right here. You use the buttons gone, but you have to use a pin, and you just stick it in there. And you get the green light right there. And that's for all the party lights. So, and they're all labeled. Perimeter LED, flicker flames, the ball of fire or torches, disco ball if you want to use it. Plug is actually that plug. Driver's light is that switch, which is that light right there. Roof line rope light is use that at night. It's on the very top of the trolley. It goes around the cupola. So that's going to be all the lighting right there. And you can see, of course, it's kind of daytime, so you got your lights. It looks really good at night. So very important. This thing's pretty slow. I like to drive 50, 55, stay in the right-hand lane. If I'm loaded with people, I definitely don't go more than 50. It's kind of happy at about 55 unloaded, and just leave a little bit earlier and always run your hazards. Also, turn signal. Turn signals do not self-cancel. You can turn and they won't self-cancel, so you always have to manually do them. Just like if you're on the interstate and you change lanes and you have to cancel your turn signal, you have to do that on this, but every time. Otherwise, you're just going to drive around with your turn signal on all day long, confusing people. Right there. And open, sometimes it kind of sticks, so you go to open, and it's kind of slow sometimes, especially if it's cold. Well, it usually goes faster than that. It's still building up air pressure, but the door will open. If you're facing downhill, sometimes you have to hop out and help it because it'll stick because it's trying to lift the way the door to open it. The battery combine switch is behind the driver's seat, or really beside it, and it's below the plug. So it has separate and combine, and you just do what the sign says. Both engines on, separate, meaning the APU, or people call it a generator, but it's not a generator, it's the engine that runs the air conditioning. So if it and the bus, the trolley engine is running, separate, because they each charge their own battery banks. If only one is running, you would reach back here and put it in combine like that. So that if there's only one engine running, regardless of which one it is, run it in combine, and that way all the batteries stay charged. Another thing I would mention is driving at night, especially these flat vertical windshields, you're going to get a lot of glare. So you have to be very, very careful, especially at night and even during the day, and always make sure that what you think you're seeing, you are seeing. And because you're going to get some strange reflections, so you really got to be very, very careful and double check. Shutdown is just going to be the opposite of starting. You would turn, you'd push that button, turn the inverter off. You would turn that off. You would, just shut all this down, turn those off, turn the key off. And that's pretty much it.